Greetings and welcome to Business Chronicles. My name is Solomon Tumwesigye and I'm your host here at Business Chronicles. Business Chronicles is hosted at Studio 84, and Studio 84 is a podcast space set up to facilitate individuals and organizations tell their stories and along the way position themselves as authorities at what they do, because we believe that everyone is an authority at something and has a story to tell. How does it work? You hit us up on the number below and we shall help you or assist you to walk your podcast journey. You know, whether you have a concept or you don't, or you always dreamed of having your own podcast, or you just want to be hosted and tell your story, you have a product launch, you know, book out or whatever it is. We'll walk the whole journey with you. Today, I am honored to host a woman of many words. They usually say I'm a man of few words. This one I know is many words. Harriet Sanyu Muwonge is a consultant. I'm not going to injure what she consults in. I'm going to let her introduce herself, just like all my guests do. And then she tells us because this whole consulting thing, Harriet, yes, you're going to tell us what it is. She has quite a background, I have to warn you. Spoiler alert, this could be the new longest episode if she goes through with all the stories in her life. Harriet, please introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners.
Thank you very much, Solo, like you're commonly called. I like to call you Solo.
Let's go with Solo.
It feels personal.
Yeah.
I am actually, on the contrary, a woman of few words.
Wow. Looks can be deceiving.
I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you.
On your podcast, and I look forward to having a good conversation with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Harriet, what do you do? Let's start from there.
I am the managing partner and CEO of Mollisan Consults Limited.
Yeah.
It is a training and consultancy firm.
Yes.
We do training, of course.
Yes.
Generic and customized.
Yes.
We also do consulting in the spaces where we can do, for example, mystery shopping.
Yes.
Or before even I go to that detail, we do consulting in the areas of leadership,
yes,
customer experience,
yes,
and financial literacy. So under leadership, we do the usual training, both generic, the courses that are set, let's say from beginners, that is foundations, intermediate, core, and probably advanced
leadership.
Are the same for customer experience.
Yes.
Except for financial literacy, because these ones are categorized already by the Bank of Uganda. I'm a certified Bank of Uganda literacy trainer.
Yeah.
So we have the modules and we go by those.
Wow.
Now, in terms of areas where we don't do training, we do mystery shopping for client experience. We do voice of customer surveys, both proactive and reactive.
Yeah.
We also do customer service audits.
Yes.
And we support organizations that want to go through service culture transformation, among others.
Wow. So, I assume you have a team that does, specializes in the different trainings and so on and so forth. But for me, the question to you is, because many people know you for wearing many other hats. How did you end up at Mollisan?
Mollisan Consults. Where do I begin that story? So I'll go backwards 5 years.
Yeah.
I have a banking background,
Yeah.
having worked for Standard Chartered Bank for over 14 years in different roles.
Yes.
As a branch manager, as a call center manager, as a head of account services, and the last role that I did before I left to join consulting was head of client experience for the corporates, business banking, and commercial banking. In banks, there's a line on the retail side and then align on the
commercial
corporate
side,
side. But just say head of client experience.
Yeah.
So while there, I got an opportunity to be a trainer. These budgets for training in organizations have not just shrunk now; they have always been, minimal. So what some organizations do is that they pick people within to actually support the training department, L&D, or when they're rolling out new products or services. So I happen to have been one of those people that was picked to go and do a TOT, trainer of trainers, across the geography, because Standard Chartered is global. So I went to Hong Kong and did a trainer of trainers, and then came back to cascade this training across the region because of the product that we're going to roll out. It was a premier service banking product. So when I went across the countries to do that, everybody actually thought I was a trainer.
Yeah.
So in some countries, they would introduce me, "Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Harriet from HR." Then I said, no, I'm actually from operations and I'm a head of client services. They were like, "Oh." So that's when I discovered that piece that I can actually train. So coming back to how Mollisan was birthed, or how I ended up there. So when I eventually made a decision to leave the bank, the first option was to get into another bank. That's what most bankers do. You move from here, you go to another. Then COVID came. I just left December 2029, just before
19.
the first 19.
Yeah.
Just before the first wave of COVID. So I'm there planning to go to, Bank X, Bank Y, Bank Z, have made contacts in there. And then, how COVID rewired all of us. So somewhere, somehow, and that's a story for another day, but consulting and speaking to colleagues who are close, who speak into my life, I took an option to start my own consultancy firm alongside others. And that's how Mollisan was born.
That's how
So the first thing I considered was to do training, because I was already a trainer, certified by bank standards.
Yes.
So at the end of the COVID era, I said, I'm not going to go to clients and say, okay, I trained in the bank many, many years after. Like now it's about 5 years. I can't be speaking about that. So I went ahead to get a certification as a trainer. So I'm an IFC certified trainer. IFC is the International Finance Corporation, abbreviated.
Yes.
IFC LPI.
Yes.
So that's the certification that now I hold. So briefly, that's how Mollisan was born.
Did you study education at the university?
No. I didn't. Why are you asking about education? Has it got something to do with training?
Because what trainers do is like what teachers do for younger people. Stand in front of the room. They're educators, so to say, but more like facilitators, you could say.
Yes, I want to agree that probably they are related. I haven't been a teacher, so I don't know what they go through. I hear they do the psychology. Yeah, I think actually you're right. But no, I did not do education. I actually did social sciences. Yeah. But when you're going through this certification, for example, for adult learning, you still have to know which methodologies do you use for adults. Are they suitable for that kind of audience? Are you speaking to millennials, Gen Z, or are you speaking to an audience of people maybe of my age or slightly your age? I think you're there in the middle. How do you deliver this message to be effective, to be remembered, for them to make sure that they implement whatever you're talking about? Now, teachers, in a way, will deliver. And then there's a lot of, you have to do that, you have to hand in the homework, you have to. So it's like,
this is the right answer, this is the wrong answer.
Absolutely, as if one way. A few of the students might challenge, but those might be the outspoken ones. But now training, you're actually more or less like helping these people because they already know. Yeah. In most cases, you're actually not the very, you're not the smartest in the room. The subject matter expert, absolutely not. But the way you deliver will make them think about the options, bring about the alternatives, because they need to own it. If they are going to implement it, you're not going to come and say, do this according. No, no, no. Now that's, in my view, that's teaching.
Yeah.
So I think that's where there's a sort of line. Here, there must be a buy-in. And even before you conduct the training, you must do what we call the training needs assessment. What do these individuals, what are the challenges or the gaps that they are facing? And not just to speak to, let's say you're the CEO of company X and you want your staff to be trained. So you say, oh, Harriet, come, we have a challenge. People here have attitude problems. They don't know how to smile. That is if it's a client experience one. If it's leadership, they don't know how to lead. They don't want to speak up. So it's one thing what you think their challenges are. It is another what actually their actual challenges are.
Yeah.
So we do a training needs assessment with you. Then we go ahead to do, it could be direct, it could also be through like a survey to find out what their needs are.
Yeah.
And you might find that at the end of the day, they are actually two separate,
They're worlds apart.
worlds apart.
Yeah.
So when you're going to deliver this training, you have to align the customized training. You have to align whatever feedback you picked to suit or to address those gaps. Now, in the methodologies for adult learning, that's when it becomes more effective. It's not just come, you have got, a schedule, they told you it's attitude, but how does it manifest itself? Where did it come from?
Yeah.
What is the background? Is it from the culture? Is it a few individuals? Are they responding to something? It's a little deeper if you take time to do that. That's when, in my opinion, a training will be effective.
Harriet, I feel like you have experience from both worlds.
You want to take me to teaching?
Right now, you are training corporate communities, organizations, and things like that. You are from that same community. How was it to like transition from like being the hunted to the hunter, for lack of a better way of putting it? Like you were the one
on the other side.
Yes, on the other side. Also, generally transiting from a whole corporate, way of life to now this consultant entrepreneur side of things.
That's a good one.
It can also be wider, knowing you. I don't know. Try and keep it short.
I know. No, it will be short. So, and I like the question. So it's an adjustment of a mindset.
Yeah.
The other side is that you are employed.
Yeah.
This other side, you are an employer.
Yes.
So when you are employed, the structures are there.
Yes.
Everything is there. I want to go into the details. Now, this side, you are forming the structures.
Yeah.
You might be in the middle there. You remember the subset?
Yes.
The Venn diagram, when there's this, and now there's that middle part. So you are in the middle of the Venn diagram. You have marketing, then you have operations, then you have market. You are more or less doing everything, and until you beef up the team.
Yeah.
So if I compare, like I told you, we're looking at corporates, commercial. You are like, I don't know, business banking or lower end of SME. So you have quite a lot to learn and catch up on. The beauty is that you have seen on the other side what those entities expect of the person on this side, the hunter, the hunted. So you have an aspiration to get there, and you know what is expected. But it's also one thing knowing, it's another becoming.
Yes.
So it was not an easy one. Joining BNI helped in a way, because when you're in there, you see the way that the business owners are positioning themselves, the passion that they have to make their businesses successful, even to wear the hat that now I am officially a business owner.
Yes.
So I think initially I was like, I'm a consultant. If I get the opportunities, I will take them. If they are not there, I will do other things. But right now, as I speak, I am wearing a full robe of a business owner, and running Mollisan like the way the business should be run.
Yeah.
So I picked a lot from BNI. I won't go into details. You said I keep it short. I think that's a story.
I
for-
like it, Sean.
Yeah, that's a story for another day.
Listen, Harriet, I'm going back to the Venn diagram of your life.
The intersection.
Yeah, because I know that if we drew it now, it will be a bit more complicated than what we studied in P5 or whatever it is.
Yes.
I know you also wear many hats. You have a media background, so to say, for lack of a better way of putting it. You've had a radio stint. I don't know if it's still going on.
It is.
How did you end up in radio?
I'm actually feeling as if I'm in the studio of the radio right now. So low.
No. How do the people who know you from radio,
Uh,
maybe this is probably the first time we are putting a face to it, because usually radio people, they know the voice. They will be, that voice sounds familiar.
yes, yeah.
How did you end up in radio?
I'll be brief. So, my very first job when I had just left university, I worked for a newspaper called the East African newspaper.
I remember the East
It is
African.
a
I'm
nation.
old enough to remember.
It's a nation media publication. So, in that role, I was administrative assistant stroke secretary to the country manager,
Yes.
Conrad Nkutu. I send him greetings. He's one of my mentors, a very good boss he was. So in that role, on Saturdays, I would wait for the news headlines. The office was at IPS, so I would cross to take we used to wait for a fax. Did you ever see a fax machine?
Yes.
So a fax would come in from Nairobi because it was an East African publication. I cross very quickly. I take to production. Then they voice. In the East African this week.
Oh, yes, I remember those ones.
Absolutely. So in the East African, read about so and so, so and so. So you know the media, if you have had or had a stint there, how it works, you can never determine when the final newspaper is ready. Sometimes they are early, sometimes they take a little longer. So it used to bother me. I used to wait, and Capital Radio would call and say, Harriet, we want to leave. And I also want to leave. So to cut the long story short, so one time it came really, really late. So when I went to production, actually the gentleman had stepped off and left his phone and asked me to call him. So when I call him, he comes and says, all the people who are doing voices have gone. So you're going to have to voice. I said, oh my God, what happens? So I sit in a place like this one. He puts on all those things, the anchor, the lights, and then he says, okay, East African, take one. Then I started reading. He said, no, don't read. This is not like you're reading. Put in this, put in. So he guided me, and I did that take. So the ad runs. So when the ad runs, my boss is like, oh, wait, Harriet did the ad. And from the feedback, it came out well. So they were very happy. He actually told Nairobi. He said, Harriet is now voicing. And guess what? You know, they used to pay the radio. Yeah. So there was like a cost save there. You know how organizations can save. So he said, going forward, you will actually do the voicing. So, you know, when you have just got a job, so, I mean, one of those and any other responsibility that may be added from time to time. So it became one of those
responsibilities.
So I used to do that voicing. Now, because I used to go on a Saturday, the gentleman in production was called Chris Nsamba. I still remember him. So he would now pile some ads and says, Harriet, voice for me this. Because now Saturday is more peaceful. Announcements, polio, immunization, some animation. So that I got into now production. So I would go, make 1, 2, 3, depending. And sometimes he would even call me intraday. Do you have a breather? Lunchtime, step out, there's an ad. So I started voicing. So I don't know how many other voices I did. From there, Chris, introduced me into Capital Radio, to Super FM, to Radio 1. So I used to go and make those voiceovers. Now, the story is long, but to cut it short, while voicing at Radio 1, I used to go there often to do very many of those voices in those ads. I would pass by and say hi to the Honorable Maria Chiwanka. I said, hey, hello, how are you? So you would chat, like how you are getting out of there. So when she was opening a sister radio to Radio 1, she, I don't know whether they told her, but somehow, somewhere, I need to remember that, but we went into a conversation when I had gone to say hello. She said, by the way, we're opening this, and I think you can have an opportunity to be part of the team. So I said, oh, okay. I was excited. And then she gave me the option. The option was for nights, like from 9 up to midnight, and then on Sunday. So when I went back to speak to my boyfriend then, so I told him, oh, I'm excited. The honorable has given me. He said, oh, but now that time in the night, you have to move, those things. So I went back. I told Maria, okay, the timing may not be right. I had a colleague who I recommended, and I ended up getting a health talk show.
Wow.
So from that time, it's been many years. I don't want to say them. It's more than 15 years solo. So I moderate a health talk show on Akabo's Kubiri. It's called Asikoblo.
Wow.
So that's how I ended up in the media.
Wow.
We are still in the Venn diagram. I don't know which circle now you want to get to.
I don't even know. I don't even know, Harriet. But for me, what I pick is how the opportunity came to you.
Absolutely.
It reminds me of goodness.
Of what?
Of a guy. His name has jumped out of my head. It will come back to me.
The guy is in the media?
Yeah, he's a public speaker, like motivation speaker, big name, I think in the US or whatever. He also grabbed a radio talk opportunity. My God, it will come back to me before the show ends. Like how the opportunity.
There's one whose story I know, but it may be a different one.
Do you know his name?
No, but I know what he did. I think he
guy.
He went into an airline, and then he had to announce, when he's like an air hostess, to say, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome aboard Uganda Airlines. And they're like, wait, who is that? So somehow he said on that flight, there was someone who works, is it in BBC? Yeah. So he got an opportunity like that. I have read the story of that one.
So,
are we speaking about the same person?
No, he's a different guy. This one will come back to me.
Okay.
But listen, the story is related. How you are signed up to do one job. One evening, you could have said, no, voicing is not my thing, and you walk away and not given it a shot. Even when you gave it a shot and the opportunity was there, you could have said, oh, no, you have to pay me for this. I am trying to speak to someone who is probably on the verge of, should I do this even for free above my job description? Because I feel like we deal with a lot of young people. Now I can say young people.
Absolutely.
Who sometimes minimize or are not happy to volunteer to do things above their job description because they feel they need to get paid, not knowing that it could be your next big opportunity or career in the waiting.
I hear you.
Should we get out of the Venn diagram? How was it? First tell me. Because you don't have a health background. Now you're meeting doctors, I assume you're talking to them all the time.
Consultant doctors.
Guys who know their stuff.
Who do, yeah, that's right.
Did you always have a script? How was it going? Didn't you feel challenged? Remember, you're coming from a place where you're just
I'm just voicing.
The director's assistant. Now you're voicing. All you have is a good voice. But also you're smart. How was it having those conversations? Do you now feel like you're a doctor also?
Oh my God. There are people who call me doctor on the show. You should tune in one of these days because like I told you, it's more than 15 years. So at some point, actually, people are telling me, you go and do behavior change, communication, go and do. I'm very knowledgeable in the health space, but of course, I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
So I think one of the, first of all, we got a bit of training at the time when we were going to open when the radio was going to go on air, media training. Yes. But also there is, you have to basically, like for training that I told you, the consultancy that I do, it's more or less the same. You have to put yourself in the shoes of the listeners. So the listeners of Akabo's could be Bantu ba bulijjo.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Bantu ba wansi. Recently, I've been told there's a difference
There's a
between those
difference.
two. Aba bulijjo,
Nabawansi.
aba wansi. I don't know about once, but Bantu ba bulijjo. So they probably may not be like for Radio One, as if. So you have to understand what are the challenges they go through, so that when you're interviewing the doctor,
Yeah.
you're like representing them.
Yeah.
So you speak from their perspective.
See why a certain person encourages you to be an MP. You used to represent
I know. And how did you know that some people have been telling me to be an MP in that diagram, Venn diagram? And I was going to give that example. You're like their MP now in this period. So you are representing their views. So if you ask me, the moment I conceptualized that, then it made the work easy. So even when I would get a doctor, for example, and with all due respect, but doctors are technical people. So sometimes their delivery is also technical. So you have to break it down for the listener, just in case the doctor Omuntu wa bulijjo.
Not owawansi.
Not owawansi, so that they can understand. So you give guidance. Now you're moderating. Yeah. So that's how. So the moment I conceptualize that it is about the people, then it makes the work easy. Yeah. So sometimes you can have a brief. What do you want to deliver? Is it a campaign? Is it for them to understand X, Y, Z? And then the doctors can get on board. So you sort of tell them to create a mental picture. So that if I'm just listening from there, and maybe somebody's talking about high blood pressure, so they give an analogy of, let's say, water from the water tank of Muyenga, how it goes into a big pipe, a smaller pipe, all the way up to the kitchen in your house. So then you explain the artery, the vein, the capillary, something like that. So then the person actually gets it from the other side. So over time, you become unconsciously skilled at doing it. But initially, you'd sort of come up with a script. But over time, like now, if a doctor walked in, I would change, like you're interviewing me, I would change, and then immediately I start, because off head, I have been doing it for some time.
What a skill. So this person's name has come back to me, Les Brown. So Les Brown.
Oh, I've heard that name.
So Les Brown
He wrote
is
a book.
Amazing public speaker. He worked at a radio station as a janitor. On a Saturday afternoon, the guy doing the show drinks himself silly. You know how some of those people can have a thing as a vice, and he is basically a mess. Yes. So the manager walks to Les Brown and says, please call this other person to come and sit in for this guy. And Les Brown goes, but whenever the show would end, he would go in and be like, fake it.
Okay.
So Les Brown goes and picks the phone, goes back and says, no, the sub couldn't make it. He said, man, do you think you can sit in for this guy? He's like, I thought I would never hear that set of words. And the rest is history. It's such
But was the sub not going to make it, or he was just using it as an
opportunity?
He was very sharp.
Very sharp, but the way he jumped for the opportunity is amazing. I have
a book I've seen about, I think written by that guy.
No, he's an amazing character. I think he passed away. I'll share with you the link of how he ended up there. It's a very hilarious. Maybe I'll even share it in the description below for people who want to see what I'm talking about. I have to take you back to one of the Venn diagrams. You were interviewing consultants, but also you are voicing for different either promos or adverts or campaigns and all that, which means you had to have some character in your voice.
Absolutely.
How did you develop the character? You know, I'm going to ask you to do for us something.
Solo. To develop that, I think partly it's who I am.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know which Venn diagram.
Choose
To bring
any.
that, no, because I want to bring that to life. First of all, personally, I love music, dance, and drama.
Yeah.
So if there's an opportunity where there's drama, like to create a skit, I think it's everything to do with the creative side. These days they call it the creatives,
Yeah.
the musicians
Yeah.
and stuff. So that creative piece was already intrinsically like part
In
of
you.
me.
Yeah.
Now, then there's also a bit of the drama. The people who know me really well, they know the aspect of drama that I have so many stories. I have so many stories of drama, like to bring out a character, or if let's say it's a church and maybe there's a place, so we'll say, okay, who's going to guide us here? Says, is Harriet there? So I will look at how it's going. I think it's called production. Then I say, cut, speak louder. So to bring out an emotion, maybe someone needs to be more empathetic, and they're like, let's the other person do the role so that it comes out. So
Yeah.
it comes from that background. So it's one thing doing it or guiding. It's another also doing
Being
it.
the one doing it.
Being the one doing it. So that's the background that it comes from. So now for these voices, again, because of Chris, I told you about Chris, the one
Yes.
in Radio One. I mean, Capital.
Capital.
So one time, I think he had an ad. Was it about Renalin? Some syrup. So they needed a voice of a child. So I told you that at that time, it's like the street would be a bit empty. And now I had to do the part of the adult, but they needed a child. So he said, "Netosobola kubeera akaana kato." I said, let's
He
record.
challenged you.
Yeah, so, and then it came out like I was, so I think it's called animation. So you speak.
How did it come out?
So you have to speak like a child sometimes. Then maybe there would be an ad where you have to speak like polished English. Then
Yeah.
another time, actually, I remember in that voicing, that time when I was doing voicing, there's a time we'd also do those short dramas like for malaria. I remember one time we were at Super with the likes of Mariam, John Segawa. Those guys were in the drama space.
Yeah.
So you're going to be either a sick woman or you're going to be the stubborn character. And no one needs to prep you. You just know that now when I'm going to be stubborn, this is how I'll speak. You understand? So if you're an old woman, then you'll be like, nange, ngandavye, that kind of thing. Then if it is the other stubborn, we're like, oh, mom, I'm going out. So you just have, it's just wiring inside. And maybe if you're going to be like the person who, let's say a religious person is going to come through and say, banange, mukkirize, mukole ebya Katonda. So you wear the character.
Yeah.
And you sit in it, and that's how you bring it out. But
what was your favorite character, for example, that you did and you listened to and you're like, who is that?
Okay, like I think it's being like an old woman.
Yeah.
And also there were cases when I would voice like a child. It would feel so good. You feel a bit silly, but you're in the background. Like if they put a curtain there, they wouldn't know you're actually not a child.
Yeah. Do you want to sample?
Solomon, let's go back to the Venn diagram. You need to have
Even
a script.
this is part of the Venn diagram.
You need to give me a script so you act like an adult, then I'll be a child. I just can't become a child out of the yellow. Do you have a script of...
I don't have a script.
Let's go to the Venn diagram.
We got the Venn diagram.
Let's proceed.
Harriet, who in Mollisan, who typically are you looking for as Mollisan? Who do you serve?
Okay, we serve largely, I wouldn't want to scope it per se, because almost all organizations benefit from training.
Yeah.
But for that, especially for leadership, any organizations that, all organizations where there are leaders, we serve them. We serve the corporates, we serve the NGOs, we serve the government entities. We serve the even schools.
Yes.
Even schools, because we also serve people in the hospitality spaces and people in the health space.
Yeah.
Now, for client experience, it is predominantly the spaces where customer experience is a key differentiator.
Yes.
And these are many now, but also others that might be interested, because you see, they may not know that they actually need that service, but they do. But predominantly, it's the corporates, banks, insurance companies, again, the government entities where service delivery is key.
Yes.
Lately, the health spaces have a lot of care that they want to give their patients. They call it patient care. We also look at some of the NGOs who work with so many stakeholders, so service delivery is key. So whatever you want to call it, you can call it service delivery, you can call it client experience. We serve all those ones. But predominantly, the ones with whom we have been working are largely the corporates that involve all those that I have mentioned.
Yeah. I love it, Harriet. Thank you so much. Harriet, I feel like it's just the tip of the iceberg. At this point, I'm going to ask you, and I feel like I have not even tipped the iceberg. Anyway.
I'll sip my tea as you think about that. Anyway.
Is there anything else you want our viewers and listeners to know about you? Maybe your corporate journey, your business journey, your entrepreneur journey, or anything that comes to heart before we close?
Not that probably they want to know, because there's quite a lot in the Venn diagrams, the analogy that we used.
Yeah.
Maybe what I would want our viewers to know is that at Mollisan, we'll take care of your leadership, customer experience, and financial literacy needs through training. We do this face-to-face. We also have schedules or sessions that are online.
Yeah.
And we reach out to you, or you reach out to us, and you tell us where your gaps are. Then we can tailor and address these needs to suit your and to align with your corporate goals, corporate strategy, and your culture.
Yeah.
So I would like to encourage that you reach out to us at Mollisan Consults, and then we can give you a transformational training that you will live to remember.
Wow, Harriet. I know we'll be back here sometime. Now, I feel like my task is to come up with a script.
So that I can do the other voice. You have pulled me into that space a lot. Please come up with a script.
I'll come up with a script.
Come up with a script. No
Thank you so much for coming, Harriet. Our viewers and listeners, Harriet Sanyu Muwonge on Business Chronicles.
Thank you very much for having me. Is it okay if I share my contact, or?
Please share your contact.
Okay, we can be reached on 0772 410 992. Also 0759 621 659. Info at Mollisan, mollisanconsults.co.ug. Then we shall be able to respond to you, and we start a conversation about training.
Wow. Our viewers and listeners, I'll also drop those contacts.
And just let me add something little, if you may. When I talk about training, I'm talking about passing on knowledge or skills that will transform either yourself or an organization where you work. So sometimes when we say training, people think they are going to come into a room, learn, put whatever they have put there. We do it at Mollisan, we do it with passion, because our slogan is growing with you. As we continue to train you, you are growing and we are growing as an organization. But it's not just being paid money because we are doing it. It's like, I don't want to call it CSR, but it gives us deep satisfaction to be part of somebody's growth, to be in your life solo, in this other organization. For someone to say, Harriet, you told me this. We learned this from Mollisan, and it is adding value to what they are doing. So that ripple effect for us is what makes a difference.
What makes a difference.
So it's so satisfying to see the things that people have learned, the analogies that they have picked. Right now we have got one of a Venn diagram, little things like that that make people remember our deliveries. It gives us deep satisfaction.
Wow. I can't add anything. I may spoil her parting shot. Viewers and listeners, until the next episode of Business Chronicles, I'll see you then.
Thank you.